which sports are you involved in?
I do cross country for the school, track for the school, swim team for the school, as well as triathlons individually.
And what do you do in a triathlon?
You swim first, and then you cycle or ride bikes, and then you run finally.
Okay, and what equipment do you use for this?
I'll show you. First, probably the most important is a helmet, which I don't have right now. But also my favorite part is the running shoes, which are these. You definitely need to have a good pair of running shoes. Also cycling shoes, which clip in to the bottom of the pedals, or the pedals clip into the bottom of the shoe. And then the most important piece of cycling equipment is the helmets. Protects you, and this is probably the most crucial part, because if you go down without a helmet, you get head injuries. And also, you need a swim cap and goggles. And finally, the most expensive part is the bike, which can cost anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000. Mine is not quite $10,000, but still pretty expensive. And that's pretty much, well, also a swimsuit, but we don't have that. So that's pretty much the basics of triathlon. You don't need too much, but it costs a lot.
And when did you start doing triathlon?
I think I did my first triathlon when I was 11 years old in 2006.
Okay, and why do you like your sport?
Bike's running away. I like it, mainly, I've thought about this for a long time, about why I actually like torturing myself with painful sports, and I think it's really just to see what I'm made of, what kind of, a person I am, how much I can push myself. Because you can't really do that with any other sport. Football, it's a stop and go. Basketball, it's stop and go. And it's you depend on other teammates, but this is a sport where it's really just, for the most part, about you and what you can do. So I kind of like the individuality of it.
And do you got a favorite of these 3 distances? If yes, why?
I definitely like them all a lot, and I've grown to like each one more in the past few years than I had previously. I used to have a lot of hates and a lot of likes, but now running remains my favorite, mainly because I'm best at running, and I feel like that's my strength against other competition. I can outrun everyone else faster, well, by more than I can outswim or ride them.
And how often do you practice in the week?
Pretty much every day I'm doing something that involves one of the sports, whether it's racing or just regular training. Every day I work out in a school year, on a typical school day, anywhere from 3 to sometimes 4 or 5 hours a day. And then sometimes even 8 hours in the summer, so quite a bit during the weekdays.
And do you have a role model in triathlon? Why?
I have role models in triathlon, but I think my role model for sports in general is probably Steve Prefontaine, who is one of America's best distance runners ever, who's actually killed in 1972. He kind of brought a whole renegade attitude to sport, utter belief in yourself, pushing the human body farther than anybody else had previously. So Steve Prefontaine is one of my favorites, and also Roger Bannister, who was the first man to break 4 minutes in a mile, because of their spirit of pushing the body farther than you normally would.
Okay, and what are you most proud of?
Most proud of, there's a lot of things I've done that are pretty, pretty big in my mind, but I think the biggest is probably winning the silver medal at nationals, or actually, I changed my mind, getting the first ever gold medal in relay for triathlon at the national championships with my team. It's always cooler when you win as a team, because you can share something else with other people that not many people get to experience.
Oh, really successful. And what do you want to achieve this season? What is your goal?
This season is going to be different, because some of the major players, so to speak, the better racers are going to be back. Last year they were racing elsewhere and didn't really get to be at all the races we were at. So it's not quite as high hopes as last year, which is what I said this year, and big things happen, but probably to be top 5 at the national championships and finish the season ranked top 5, which means I have to be consistent at every race. I have to be top 5 at every race I do. And also for track season, which is coming up soon too, to to break my previous records in running, just to better myself, I guess you would say.
Okay, now the last question. When is your next competition?
It is actually May 5th, May 8th, March, not March. I mean, not May, March. Early March, and it will be in Claremont, Florida, and it is the qualifier for the Pan American Championships in Edmonton, Canada in July, which I forgot to mention. That's another one of my goals, is to make the Pan American team at the race in Claremont. One of my teammates has already made it, and the next 4 slots are open to the top 4 finishers at Claremont. So I think I have a really good shot, and I think that's something I've never gotten to do before, and I'd like to get a shot in a race with top in North America.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.